Kathy Vick, Deeply Awake, Chats 2017. Well, here it is Friday, and I just want to drop in and let you know that I've had a really wonderful day, and I'm wondering if anyone else is having this experience. It's this really, really, really nice feeling. There can be all kinds of logistical stuff, 3D stuff, life maintenance stuff, spinning plate kind of stuff going on. It's true. But what I'm finding is I'm through the day today, I was physically kind of, I got to pick my word carefully. It's not overtaken. It's not overcome. Flooded with this feeling of euphoria. Now, I've had this before, and I've talked about it before. I've had the giggles before, where I really enjoy going out on smoke breaks when I work around a lot of people, and just to get away. And what I would find sometimes in the middle of chaos, I would just take a breather and stand alone, smoking and giggling, just overcome with giddiness. Nothing specific, no reason, no joke I was telling myself, just a sense of bubbly joy. And that was really fun. It was just like very puzzling though. I mean, the affect did not match up entirely with the content, and so it's like scratching your head, but how can you say no to a feeling of giggles? It wasn't cackling psychotic laughter. It was just giggles, being tickled. So I've had that experience a lot, not just on smoke breaks. And at times when it would seem not inappropriate, but counterintuitive, perhaps. This is different. This is has a physical feel to it, and it's really quite. It pushes away everything else, and it's really okay. It's not the kind of thing that would come over me, and I would not be in a place where I could experience it. It's not that like that. It's very cooperative. So, but I had it like 2 or 3 times at work, sustained periods, and then in the hour between work and this thing I had to get done, all of the tasks involved in between. Yeah, there it was. And there are some things that are just simply not available to me emotionally. They're still available to me intellectually. And I know the paths to take in my thinking to get there, to get hooked in emotionally. But what I'm realizing is that the things that that come up for, so would you like to obsess about this so you can have these feelings? The feelings are that of loss, grief, separation, anxiety, and I guess the question is put to me, and the answer is, well, no, not really. Maybe later. Let's put a pin in that. But no. And there's this opting for thoughts that feel better. And what I'm noticing is that how angry I used to be, how willing to pick a fight with reality, not with people, not with individuals, but just bitchy and just feeling like the world is against me. This is one more proof that no one is on my side. Oh my God, who'd want to be around that? Ugh. So, sorry everybody for that big, huge blind spot I had. Yeah. So, it's been a beautiful day. And I started out by seeing one of those black streaks, and I did post a picture on my website about it, so I want to review it. And I don't know if I can do it justice if I show you the picture. I doubt it very seriously. But I do want to talk about it just really quickly. There's a phenomenon that I have noticed in the sky. And this phenomenon is something that I noticed initially in the 90s when I was working with teachers. And what I notice is a black streak or streaks in the sky. They're always a straight line, these black streaks, always. And so I'm going to try. Let me see. No, absolutely not. I'll provide the link. I tried. I'll provide the link in the comment section, or that little info section, so you can look on the website. But these are black streaks in the sky that are lines, like lines. And I initially saw them in the 90s, early 90s, when I was working with teachers. Sometimes they would appear like almost what a negative of a photograph would look like of a sunrise. Black streaks that go boom, 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 and it looks like a sunrise. I would oftentimes see them, they are always in the horizon, they're always far away. I've never encountered this phenomenon in an up-close kind of way. So I used to do a lot of driving. I would just get in my car and head east, and hang out in truck stops and read books. And so, because I like that, I like being on the road, and I really like the plains, so I would go out, and that's oftentimes where I would see them, in this great expanse of sky and plain, these huge black streaks coming from the earth and just sort of dissipating, but long. And then I began to see them again, not like grand negative sunrises, but single streaks. At first they were just hints, and I find that just scanning the environment, scanning the horizon, not fixing on anything, but just sort of brushing the whole picture, trying to take everything in whole. Oftentimes then, if I've noticed a shadow, I wonder what that is. If I do that scanning, then I can sometimes appreciate it, not always, obviously, sometimes you're not there, but if it's there, that's a technique I found is very helpful. And then once I've located it, I don't have to scan anymore. I can just look at it, and I can locate it again if my eye goes away, and I can see it again. That's what I found with these things. But they really have been appearing more and more, and they've become more dark and more obvious. And I've tried to take pictures of them before, and I've failed. But I would say only the last couple of years have they been really prominent. And I never really forgot about them, but I didn't see them a whole lot in the intervening years, 94 to 14, maybe. That vision came online around 14. So I went to the teachers with it. I asked them, what the heck is going on here? Am I seeing things? And they said, well, they're always there. This is my vision coming online. And they talked about that with other things, Yeah, there's always plasmic ships. There's always, if you can call them ships, there's lots of things that could be considered UFOs in the sky all the time, but they're not visible in our visual spectrum. We don't have the eyesight for them, so they don't exist to us. What a wonderful and pregnant metaphor that one is. But they said, okay, so here's the deal. You can see him, so we should talk about this. Have you seen, they asked me, a ray of light coming from above, and a ray, an actual ray, a shaft of light coming to the earth and looking all pretty. Yeah, who hasn't? Well, these things are like that. Except they're coming from the earth out. And they explain there are groups, entities, peoples who are generating these. They're sending energy from Gaia home. I like it. I like that they're back. I like that I posted it, and I've gotten replies saying, oh yeah, I've been seeing these. And I wondered what they were. It's like, oh yeah. There's a reason why I'm, alive and kicking. So yeah, this feeling of satisfaction and of fulfillment. It's like really funny. This great feeling that I've been getting. It's so funny. I have this, problem, whatever. This task, or it is rather problematic. It, time sensitive, all that stuff, important, that I have to get done. And there are complications, and there are difficulties, and there are stresses involved in this. And I mentioned it's that commute and all the tasks I had to get done before 6. And it didn't go smoothly, I guess. It was smooth enough, but what I noticed during it was what I'd mentioned, sort of like these little invitations to worry. And I noticed myself, I don't know, saying dire things about this task or this traffic or that driver or whatever. And then it was as if I was being given a choice. Okay, so would you like to continue with this? You like this flavor? That's fine. Or would you prefer this? And I found myself in the end forgetting to get upset, forgetting to have an edge. And it's not this, well, it's going to be what it's going to be. And it's probably going to be fucked. Not like that. Not at all. Opposite, actually. But knowing I had choices. I could go here or here. Quick, boom. And I surprised myself with some of the choices I made. I really did. Don't really know why things happen the way they did, because it's an inconvenience and it's incomplete. I don't know. But there it is. And not a worry in sight. I guess I don't have a blind spot anymore quite as much, because I can see some of the behavior and some of the expectations and some of the habitual thinking that I used to do. But I'm looking at it as if I'm an observer, looking at something that is not available to me, thankfully. And this is the part that's so important, is to always remember. And this is what the last about year has been about. This compassion. Feeling, really, truly feeling all of it. Understanding the depth and the purpose behind the feelings that are generated in any particular interaction. And then knowing how to cope with that. Knowing what to attend to and what to leave behind. knowing what matters to attend to, what's appropriate to attend to. So part of this has been me becoming socialized, finally, with all of my operating systems functioning as, I don't know, coherently. What keeps coming through is that this is all about coherence. And that last night I, was given very, very clear information that really what my role is and has been is to be a spokesperson for the science that is the application of physics, the application of the physics of consciousness. And that study of the application of physics within and throughout consciousness is the study of coherence. And in this study, this is the umbrella coherence under which everything falls. My neighbors are having a big party, it sounds like. Kind of miffed I didn't get an invitation. But it's only 6. It sounds like Daft Punk is in the house. Anyway, this has been a very interesting shift, and well worth discussing, well worth explaining. And I really enjoyed the explanation that I received, because I was just overwhelmed all of a sudden with these thoughts of I can hardly wait. First, it's really, I think, makes sense. First is the study of QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis therapy, that Dolores Cannon pioneered. Finishing up my decoding, getting that practitionership, and then, of course, adding a more intensive study of astrology and numerology, which would include fractal math, and I would really, really like to explore base 12 math more. And so I'm driving around thinking, well, that sounds like a really fun study. That sounds coherent. It sounds like the point of, sort of like the end point of my interests. And I'm 56. So it seems to me like that, and then it dawned on me, this is why people at 50 or 60 start walking around like zombies. Because we've been told we're going to be dead by the time we're 80, or wish we were, because of ill health and not being a sexual person and not, not having anything to live for. Because I'm thinking, well, I want to do this and this and this and this and this. And part of me was thinking, well, I really shouldn't be planning for that. I'm getting old. And it wasn't like, oh, erase that, stop. No, not like that. It's like, oh, well, isn't that a shame to let that particular group agreement and hypnotic suggestion stop me from having hope, having interest in the future, believing that I can be vital? Ooh. So listen up, 30-year-olds. Listen up, 40-year-olds. Listen up, dear, sweet 55-year-olds and 65-year-olds. It's really up to you to decide if you're going to buy into this, I'm going to be dead by the time I'm 80, or sure wish I would be. And that what I'm looking forward to is some sort of illness and chronicity and death. Oh, come on. Who said so? Who said? Who said? What's your authority? Oh, everybody. Yeah, well, you want to take a look at their affairs? I'm a hospice nurse. You want to know how many homes and how many families I've been in with a dying family member? How traditional are you going to be? How conventional do you want to be? How much do you want to believe what everyone else tells you? You know, I have an agreement with the moon. A lot of my friends do too. Because the moon is a counter. It's a ticker. With each full moon, our bodies age a month, right? Maybe it's every new moon. Pick what you want. I don't care. I pick the full moon. So I had a talk with the moon and my body. And we came to agreements about how often my body's going to notice a full moon for timekeeping purposes. So, I mean, I look at my life and I expect it's going to stretch out a little bit longer than is normal. That means that whatever's going on inside of me that may not be healthy must and will resolve into health. If I really lack creativity or choose that this is the way to do it, I can deal with certain things surgically, medically. Not interested. Not at all. But that's way, way, way outside of normal. Well, so is having an agreement with the moon. And I think so is feeling the blush of, oh my God, my life's about to start. In my late 50s. Ha. Yeah. I'm not willing to go anywhere right now. I think it's probably wise to assume I'll be sticking around. I think I've had enough brushes with death to convince me that there is a volitional aspect to this that is quite significant at this point. And that no longer do I need to really believe that I can be hoodwinked or tricked into death by my body against my will. I think it might be time to let that belief wander off. Find somebody else to bug. It really just is there are many things I'm realizing are just really very conventional and normal and expected, and there can be problems really socially if I don't have obvious value for whatever institution is so highly valued by whoever I'm talking to. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm not convinced that anything we've been doing interpersonally and sexually as couples or is really very wise. I think it all speaks to some basic misunderstandings that we all agreed to, but have since been found to, by some of us, to be misunderstandings, not worthy of perpetuating. I don't know. All I know is I'm happy. And I wouldn't come to you and say that unless I really believed it was going to continue. Because you see me come to you, right? Day after day after day. And so I have to face the camera if tonight I say, yeah, I'm really happy. And then what? Something happens? I get bad news? something happens. Well, all right, so maybe something will happen. Maybe it'll be hard to cope with. Maybe there'll be loss involved and drama. Maybe. But this is the sort of the thinking I've been going through. Yeah, maybe. But I'm not really interested in thinking any of those thoughts. And then I'd drift off into really happy things, or neutrality, or creativity of just freestyling. It's just, oh my God. Free at last, free at last. Thank God I'm free at last. If you are having a troubled time, if you are down in the dumps, please don't take this as crowing. Take this as hope. Take this as a lifesaver. You know, one of those, pew. I see that you're drowning here. Pew. Maybe you're not drowning. Maybe you just clicked because you want to celebrate with me. Awesome. But if it feels like your heart is pumping ground glass through your body, well, the reason I'm here tonight is because I spent most of those 56 years feeling like ground glass was being pumped through my body, by my heart. Being angry, being upset, being paranoid, being ready for a fight, and absolutely in denial about it. Who, me? I'm the gentle soul. So that's why I come. It's not to say, hey, I figured it out and you didn't. It's not it. It's not it. It's because, holy mother of God, I shouldn't have been able to figure this out. Given where I've come from, given what I've seen, given what I've had to deal with, this shouldn't even be available to me. And here I am. There should have been a different outcome. Here I am. It's because I was supposed to be here. But you're supposed to be there. You're on time and on purpose right this minute, whether you believe it or not. It is your discomfort that's your way out. Dealing with that discomfort, learning about it, trying to disarm it. Moving through it, that's the way out. Knowing there's got to be something better, and having discontent pump that ground glass in your body. This isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't right. It feels wrong. I feel bad. Yeah, I know one or two things about that. And if I can do this, so can you. I've listed my personality quirks and my fuck-ups. 8, 9, 10 months worth. If you're unconvinced that I have the capacity to be an a-hole, well, just go take a look. But I know that there's so much more than that, and that most of it's my own judgments, that I really am perfectly fine. And when I'm acting like that, or angry, or, not helpful, I'm misunderstanding something. I'm misunderstanding myself. And just coming home, it's like coming to. I really am very pleased that I did this because, yes, it was long and arduous. You bet. It may not be necessary if you are a savant in the ways of holiness and spirituality. You may think that this is completely unnecessary. That's fine. It was necessary for me. And it was necessary for me so that I could record it for who? Well, for me and for you. It was just what I agreed to do. So here we are, talking about black streaks, talking about ascension, and it's all real. Thank God. I'm really glad to be here, and I'm glad to be excited to remain willing and invested in remaining. In the back of my head, well, it'll be a cruel joke when your terminal diagnosis comes through then. Oh my God. I think that's that creep. I got a creep who runs around with me. I think I just need to say, oh yeah, that's that bitch. Oh yeah, you suck. Go sit down. Go grab a water. God, that's nasty. What's wrong with you? No, don't say what's wrong with you. That's not very nice. All right. With that, I would end. I have things to do. Many rivers to cross.